So, crowdfunding this week. What's on your radar? What needs to be on your radar? Top 3 games that you should have your eye on this upcoming week as we approach the end of February. Let's do this. Number one, by far and away the biggest one, I think, fundraising this week is going to actually be Ascension Tactics Inferno. Now, supposedly this is adding a 4-player mode, a fully fleshed out 4-player mode, some quests, some individual expansions, sort of modular content there to go along with it, as well as a 5th faction for the first time ever in Ascension, is what they're saying. And so there are also going to be exclusives. But the big question is going to be, how much is the price point going to be and how much plastic? Because, if you're like me and you want to pick up a copy, well, it was like $35 at retail and it was like $130 or something along those lines, or $100 to get all the plastic last time. And some gameplay content, but not a ton, to make me want to necessarily get it in the Kickstarter exclusive fashion. It was more like Blood Rage with the amount of exclusive content rather than, say, like a zombie side. And so for me personally, it's going to be a watch and wait unless they really, really give more incentive. Not that I'm hoping they give more incentive, because, I've got a few other things on my radar in the next month that I'm going to spend money on that are not that. So it would be nice not to have an unexpected one pop up, but I'd also like to see what they can do, because all in all, this game seems to be very well regarded from a skirmish deck building standpoint that they've now smashed up competition there. Anyway, but that's going to be number 1 on this list. Number two, if I can find it, it's number two right here. We have Street Fighter Champions from Colossal, putting it out over on GameFound with a Capcom edition. Now this is going to be, I have a copy with miniatures as well as standees, so what's the final product going to fully look like? I'm guessing a combination thereof. But this is significantly different. This reminds me more of a game you've never heard of, the Boruto game that was originally also supposed to come up from Blacklist, not like Street Masters. This is not Street Masters. This is not the combo system of Street Masters. It's something completely different. My review will be out hopefully later this weekend, talking you through this, what the gameplay looks like, what you should be interested in, or what else you should know to help you have a little bit of knowledge beforehand. But it is significantly different. And so I give them a lot of kudos, because the Street Masters system itself is very good on the surface, but it's very messy and convoluted when you actually get to play it with all the minutia, the errata that came with it, and just sort of the bleh. And so I liked what it was up here, but the actuality of it on the table just made it a lot harder to get through, if that makes sense. And so the fact that they went with a different direction in this one is actually kind of nice. You basically have 4 abilities that you're going to be able to play or unlock or use, and you're going to be playing a card combo based system that are going to have icons on it that are going to allow you to create those combos in the first place as you go up against an enemy, but also a rival, going through a scenario-based situation in this more of a game. And so it's already different from that aspect of things, but also similar to the other Street Masters in the sense that it is scenario-based, mix and match. There you go. That's why it's number 2. Number 3 here, we're going to go in a slightly different direction, and I'm going to give it to Lone Shark Games. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt here, and we're going to see what they're doing with the Lords of Vegas Americana relaunch. And I just don't know. The price point was really, really significant last time, and they threw in a bunch of stuff that was bundled together, including the 5th player expansion, which I hate having stuff like that bundled in and not having the option of whether or not I want to get it. By all accounts, people really love Lords of Vegas. It's one of the classic games that people go, oh yeah, that's a great game, when you think of games along those lines, like El Grande or Hansa or those sorts of ones, that people go, oh yeah, that is clearly, predecessor, good game, out of print, now putting it back into print. Okay, what is the price point going to look like? How are things going to be different than the last time around when they did not achieve what they were going for? That's going to be the big question. Now, we've seen a lot of relaunches in the last year and a half that I've been doing this, on a more frequent basis, and we've seen the relaunches really do a lot better than, say, 2 years ago or 3 years ago, when you saw relaunches just not also succeed. You saw failing 2 or 3 or 4 times even. I've never played Lords of Vegas, but it's one of those games where if somebody brought it out at the game table, I'd be more than willing to try. I'm just not sure, especially if the price point is looking at like $75 or $100 or more dollars for a combination of this stuff, even if it is out of print, if I can justify that. So that's going to be the telltale. We'll give an honorable mention here at the end, because it was also on my upcoming games that I anticipated the most of 25th Century Games is doing another combo game situation where they have 3 games coming out: Agueda, Color Field, and Donut Shop. Agueda, it really looks like the most interesting one to me, but that's going to be sort of the interesting test of, okay, these combinatorial games. We've seen very, very good results from Board Game Table / All Play with their most recent crowdfunding campaign. And if you just put out good, solid, small box games, I mean, there's a huge niche and a huge market for that. The video I just put out yesterday basically goes through a bunch of small box games. Check that one out if you're interested. I did 11 games, ranked and reviewed in 30 minutes or less. And so I wanted to, highlight some of those that you might not otherwise see elsewhere. So I think this one is another interesting one. We also have, just as other mentions this week, D-Day Dice Reinforcements expansion. And then we have another game called Tether. And then we also have Reviving Kathmandu, which is by the same couple that did the Bagchal version of a game, an Indonesian game. I'm forgetting what the name of Nepalese game, I think, last year on crowdfunding as well, that delivered, that I have a copy of, that I actually included in the video yesterday. See, I'm tying things in. That one's launching on the 20th. I think the other one is Kyperium, another spacefaring X game that is going to be launching as well. So those are the big ones. Those are all of the ones in between, and we'll kind of see what else pops up. Yeah. So I know not the usual video yesterday, but you know what? It's all good. Change things up. There wasn't a whole lot launched on crowdfunding this week, so I thought I'd just kind of zig when you thought I was going to zag. That's all I got. Stay classy. Have a great weekend. I'm working. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be freaking awesome. Stay classy. Have a great day.